This is my reply video to a YouTube video from Everything for Redheads called Gingerism, Is It a Real Problem? First of all, I'll give you my opinion right away. No, Gingerism isn't even fucking real. Gingerism is a bullshit term oversensitive adult redheads come up with because they have red hair and they feel that they're not going to get a relationship because they have red hair and all that nonsense. So it's not real. It really is not real. So don't harp on it, okay, redheads? But anyway, let's see this video. Oh, and trigger warning, this part of this video does have Milo Yiannopoulos in it, so if you don't want to watch this video because of Milo Yiannopoulos, that's fine. But you know what? He isn't dumb. He's actually intelligent. So I just want to put that out there. Because just because he's a conservative gay Jew who's into black men, he's not dumb. Or he's not a white... And he's not a white supremacist either. So let's go to the video. Sorry. I apologize. Here we go.
Now, this is going to be my favourite segment ever. To some, they're fiery, exotic copper tops, while to others, they're ginger ninjas. Antonio, did you write this stuff? That's my producer. Redheads seem to polarise opinion, and despite the fact that there are more and more flamehead celebrities. Now, this is going to be my favourite segment ever. To some, they're fiery, exotic copper tops, while to others, they're ginger ninjas. Antonio, did you write this stuff? That's my producer. Redheads seem to polarise opinion, and despite the fact that there are more and more flamehead celebrities and sex symbols, gingers still take a lot of stick. An exhibition in central London aims to celebrate redhead men, as our very own ginger Jake Tutman went to find out.
Bullied at school, teased in the workplace, and often mocked in popular culture, gingers have a notoriously rough ride.
But why is this? Even without the teasing, we freckle, we peel, we turn lots of pink and we're sight of the sun.
Now, it's different from red-headed women, who are often seen as pro-temptresses with soft skin and dazzling eyes. Powerful and regal, this view was probably popularised by historically powerful women like Elizabeth I.
First of all, have you ever considered that maybe not all redheaded men are pussies and that can actually get women or men to date them? Yeah, because I see that most redheaded guys on YouTube that bitch and complain about having red hair and harp on the redhead stereotypes about redheads, that they tend to be complete wimps and that they don't know how to get laid and they're stuck 24/7 masturbating in the house because they just don't know how to talk to women or guys if they're gay. So you gotta understand something here. Not all redheaded guys are complete fucking wimps. I'm not one, that's for sure.
As guys, well, most of our nicknames are too rude for daytime television. But let's just say many of them revolve around ginger nuts.
Firecrotch, big fucking deal. Firecrotch is not an offensive word to say on television.
This exhibition in Covent Garden, Thomas Knight's Red Hot, aims to celebrate male red-headedness, and with more celebrities like Prince Harry and Meghan.
First of all, number one, stop showing Prince Harry. This guy is not the most attractive redhead out there, if I would to give my honest opinion, he's anything but attractive. He's kind of the, this is what you don't want your child to look like type of redhead. Now, that guy's a little better looking than Prince Harry, to be honest.
Is being ginger guy now becoming sexy?
The answer is sadly not, despite all these photos of pectorally superior gingers. There are still numerous accounts of gingers being bullied, things like the unofficial Kick of Ginger Day and one of the world's largest.
Okay, I have to talk about, I'll talk about this one particular thing one last time because I'm sick of bringing it up in every single video that I do based on being a redhead. Kick a Ginger Day is a South Park joke done in the early 2000s. Why the hell do you think it's a real day? There's no holiday or calendar throughout the whole year that says Kick a Ginger Day. No such thing at all.
Just sperm banks refusing to take sperm from redheads due to a lack of demand.
So it seems that unlike racism and religious stigma, Gingerism is one of the last bastions of acceptable discrimination. Until that changes, there's only one way to deal with the bullies.
It's not discrimination, you idiot. You really think being made fun of being a redhead is discrimination? Now, I don't think white privilege exists in the form of the way people say it does, but how white to say, I have red hair, I'm being discriminated based on my hair. How goddamn white can you get? Jesus. That's so dumb to say. Look, being made fun of your red hair as an adult man, and if it still bothers you, you are not fit to be a man. You are still mentally a boy, living in a man's body. Honestly, dude. Look, if you're a grown adult man and you're offended by every single fucking redhead joke about your hair, you know what? Here's what needs to happen to you. You need to grow a pair of balls. You really do. And go on your merry way. Let it roll off your shoulders. Because you could change the color of your hair. Hell, you're more blonde than strawberry blonde, and you could get away with calling yourself a blonde. Problem is solved.
Right, that's going to be a very heat.
Yeah, this is the Milo part of the video, and may I remind you that Milo, number one, is not dumb. He knows what he's talking about here.
Discussion, I'm sure. Here with me to talk about all of this is Jessica Shales. Now, she's founder of Everything for Redheads and one of the organisers of Redhead Day UK. Emma Kelly, she's the editor of Ginger Parrot, and journalist Milo Yiannopoulos. What's going on? What is the deal with redheads? Tell me, explain. I genuinely don't understand.
The deal with redheads is sort of an age-old concern. We've always been a minority, we always will be, but very distinctive. So there's no way of kind of going underneath the current. Will always be out there. And
redheads, we are not a minority. Majority of redheads are white. That does not make us a minority. We are far from a minority. Now, people of, let's just say, African descent or Japanese descent or Hispanic descent that have red hair, they are a part of a minority because they are the lowest number population of people in America just in general, compared to white people, which is the majority. I know this interview took place in London, but I just want to give statistics about America. redheads are not a minority. There is a difference. When it comes to the color of your hair, you can change it either through natural process, which is very expensive, or you could just go to the hair salon, bleach your hair, and get it dyed a different hair color.
I love the fact that we are openly talking about how we're perceived now, how we're still not quite accepted, but maybe that's okay. You know, maybe that's actually really good.
Is it okay?
Definitely. I think in a world of 7 billion people, we need to find ways that we actually stand out from the crowd. And, you know, we have this naturally, we have pale skin, freckles, and red hair. Of course, you're an absolute beacon in a crowd of people, but that's going to be a good thing.
Okay, so how do you feel about this sperm bank refusing any more redhead donors?
Technically speaking, what happened was that they had a percentage equal to how many redheads there are. So it was that they had filled their quota, but what the news managed to do was they twisted it to make it seem as if, oh, nobody wants a ginger baby. And we do see that quite a lot, that suddenly it's just twisted around. So if you saw information from the spokesperson for the sperm bank, they're like, oh, we're not saying there's anything wrong with ginger people. We just, we don't need any more, we need more space for others.
So it's yet more discrimination against gingers.
No, it's not a form of discrimination, Jesus. Red hair in general is well, 2.8% of the world's population has red hair. Over 86% of people carry the gene, so therefore, okay, let's just say this place this is a sperm bank, so this is plenty of men who, you know, watch porn, jerk off, and then donate their sperm. So let's do the math here. Let's say there's 10,000 donations this week. Let's just go with that. And let's say 250 are redheaded men. So that's their quota. They can't go any more than 250 men. Now, let's say have natural black hair. So that means that the 1,000 men that gave their sperm, more likely, out of the 1,000 of them, 8,600 of those guys, no, sorry, not 8,000. 860 of those guys carry the redhead gene. So let's do one more quick math right away. Now let's say 2,360 of these guys have brown hair, another common hair color. Now, %86 of the population carries it. So out of this number, it would be 1,860 of those guys would carry the redhead gene. So therefore, regardless which way you slice and dice it, a redheaded baby is possible in either scenario, 25% of the time. I'm not a genius at math, but I'm smart enough to figure out those common statistics.
Here again, it was the media twisting it when actually sperm bank wasn't saying for good.
Well, no, surely this is all unfair for redheads.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a real kind of discrimination. I mean, let me tell you briefly what the science says about this, which is basically that, yes, redheaded women get approached less often in clubs. Redheaded men get turned away more often. There's two competing views on this. One is that redheads, because of the association with freckles, there's an evolutionary response as far as sex appeal goes, which, because they have a much higher cancer risk, and because they have it's like a cue for less genetic diversity, because actually because both the redheaded and the freckle gene are recessive. If you have pretty much anything else in you, they disappear, right? Which is why there aren't many redheads. But it's kind of like an evolutionary cue for a lack of genetic diversity, which is why some scientists think people don't go for redheads. But the good news is most of the studies, including one in 2012, show that it's only the hair, it's not skin tone or freckles, even though most sort of hot redheaded celebrities have very heavily airbrushed skin, more so than others. It's actually just the hair. So if you do feel you're at a disadvantage, you can change it.
See, right there, that should have been the end of the thing, because Milo just crushed the whole discussion. Because he's exactly right. If you're a natural redhead, regardless if you have a Irish, Scottish, or Western European background, yeah, we are more prone to skin cancer than anybody else because we have fairer skin. So therefore, fairer skin and red hair are a recessive trait, and so therefore any common trait somebody might have does disappear in the genetic gene pool during the biology process of the baby forming in the womb. So he is not lying. He is talking about stuff that can be backed up by biological science.
How do you feel about all of this? Do less guys approach you in the club just because of your hair?
I've never had problems. No, I think so. I think it's probably different for women in comparison to men. I think in the light of day, especially, I think men seem to be not as attractive if they have red hair. I don't know how my life would be different if I was a blonde or a brunette, so I can't really say with complete, we can't do a real, a controlled experiment to find out how it'd be different. But have you actually ever...
That right there, you screwed yourself over right there when she said that you can do a real controlled experiment. But the one in the white t-shirt made a perfect point. Look, there's a lot of redheaded men who are not perceived as attractive based on their red hair, and I understand that because I'm not perceived as attractive when I go out to bars. But here's the thing, though. I could get away with talking to women and especially guys at bars because since my hair during the wintertime is a very dark auburn red hair, finally the Brooklynism didn't kick in. Since my dark auburn red hair looks like a brown, I almost look like a brunette in a bar. So I'm pretty lucky. When I catch the eye of somebody. So that's a key thing right there, is what's the shade of red? Now, for most redheaded guys, it's like this deep red or this Irish leprechaun orange. And I'm sorry, it kind of looks like you have a character shade of red. It kind of looks like you decided to spray paint for St. Patty's Day a year in advance. So, it depends on the shade of red a guy has. But yeah, there are some redheaded guys who are just downright fucking ugly. Like Prince Harry. He is not attractive whatsoever. but yet he still gets a lot of strippers. Go figure. That's because he's a prince. If he didn't have the royal name to him, he would be like almost like every other guy online looking at porn.
Change your hair color. I've worn, whenever I have fancy dress, and my friends that know me for really enjoying fancy dress, I do have a habit of just having a wig on just to sort of see what it's like. But whenever I take my wig off, it's sort of, the response is sort of like, oh, that's better. That does suit you more. So, but I also feel like I lose a really big part of my identity when I'm covering my hair. And it's funny how I personally.
Yep. Milo, same reaction. I share. Watch what he does when she says, I lose part of my identity when I cover my red hair. Look at his reaction. It's classic. He's like looking up, Jesus Christ, you just used that argument. You really just said you lose part of your identity when you dye your hair. Your hair is not your identity. If Milo said something here saying your hair does not equal who you are on a personality level, I would laugh my ass off, but he hasn't. But yeah, look at what Milo Yiannopoulos does. He's dyed his hair platinum blonde, which is almost a ghost white. He's dyed his hair blonde. That's his natural hair color, but he dyes it. Big deal. What's his personality? That's his identity. His identity is his personality. His sexuality is a part of his identity and personality, not his hair color. This is a perfect example of why your hair color does not equal your identity. Because you could change your hair color, but your personality doesn't change.
And it's funny how I personally have been through a few teething problems when I was younger. What happened? Well, it was just the odd bit here and there. It wasn't like one group, it was just people shouting ginger and, things like that. So it wasn't like I was mercilessly attacked or anything. But it almost feels like I've earned my stripes. I've earned the right to wear, my badge of honor. And now it's kind of like a really big part of my identity and who I am.
So what do you think about an exhibition?
Harry. But again.
Hold on a sec. I just want to go back to the screenshot. See how I believe it's how Milo is sitting and compared to the redheaded ladies on the other side of the table. Now, how Milo is sitting is he's giving a body language saying with his arms width apart from each other, which means they're not closed in. They're almost completely in between his legs, but there's enough space in them with the legs spread far enough where he's in a very comfortable position where he knows what he's talking about, compared to the lovely redheaded ladies here, where they have their legs crossed, which is a sign of that they're uncomfortable having a conversation, and their arms are crossed too, and they're not even a good width wide apart like Milo's arms are. So they're very uncomfortable having this conversation. Even though they're physically not saying it, their body language is coming off that way.
A really part of my identity and who I am.
So what do you think about an exhibition?
Harry. But again, I mean, look, the point about all this is, I think that the discrimination about redheads is a bit overplayed. I mean, it seems, there is real discrimination out there in the world, and it's a sort of.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to go back to what he just said, okay? Pay close attention to what he just said.
The point about all this is, I think that the discrimination
there is real discrimination out there in the world, and it's a sort of bleat about people being mean to gingers, and there are mean jokes around, but most of those jokes, the ones that, well, I'll tell you the ones that don't have any basis in scientific fact, and they're excessive libido, fiery temper, clammy hands, all that kind of stuff is just mean social, mean
I've
social.
never heard any of that stuff.
No, that's what people say. I've never experienced any of this myself, but all of that stuff is kind of socially social jokes. But there is a bit of science to suggest that redheads might be less attractive to most people. But I think to say that that's some kind of discrimination is a little bit. It's a little bit funny when there are black people, gay people, transgender people who do experience genuine problems.
Exactly. Gingerism is not a form of fucking discrimination. Yes, there are gay, trans, black people, Hispanic people who face real discrimination in the world. For example, in Africa, and more so in Nigeria, there's an AIDS crisis there. And where is their parliament giving the medicine to their people? Oh yeah, they take the medicine. Doctors Without Borders goes over there and helps them. Their government discriminates against their own people. That's real discrimination. Being made fun of for being a redhead, that's not real discrimination. That's just white for, I'm going to play the victim card.
Fair point. Do you agree that this discrimination issue isn't really much of an issue? I mean, did you experience any bullying?
No, not particularly because of my hair. I used to get a lot of comments and things, but that does bring you down because obviously it said to you, "Oh, you're ginger," and it said to you as if there is something wrong with you, and you can take that personally, and it does affect you. I think every redhead I've met, they all have been probably slightly neurotic about their identity, even if.
Oh, Milo's body language with his verbal language and intelligence is all in sync with each other. He's not even saying anything, but he's like shaking his head to the ground like, why am I even having this conversation? Watch.
I think every redhead I've met is they're all.
The way he makes the eye contact, like biting his lower lip.
Have been probably slightly neurotic about their identity.
He's trying not to laugh. He's literally trying not to laugh. He's trying to think of the next argument, so he restrains himself from laughing.
Even if they come out of it as an adult and they really appreciate their hair, you'll have similar stories of how you grew up, and you're like, oh yeah, I was called Ginger, I was called Copper Top and things.
So is this true that everyone's got a story?
Now her body language has changed. Now she's more comfortable with the conversation. Now Milo's getting a little uncomfortable for whatever reason. I don't know. But see, here's the thing though. Now you see how her body language is changing compared to when it was here. See the difference? Where her arms are a little more open than Milo's is now, compared to here. A shift in the conversation can make somebody a little more comfortable or uncomfortable based upon which part of the topic you're talking about.
I want to talk about the issues, and there were quite a lot. And that's why
She is still uncomfortable, the one in the purple.
I think it'd be interesting, Milo, if you came onto the Facebook page and you saw the discussion about. I asked the question: is gingerism the same as racism? Which came up because of something that Katie Hopkins said, and the discussion, He's still trying not to laugh.
And her facial expression is, seriously, you're saying that being made fun of your red hair is equivalent to the shit I've experienced before? What are you talking about? Anyway, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, see ya.